Bam.
It's too late for you to tell us you're sorry. You passed that point a long time ago. 'Cause perpetuating lies and deception
is the only thing that you seem to know. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe, floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's Thursday, the 30th of July, 2026. I'm Dave vonKleist. These are the WTF Reports, broadcasting live on the Red State Talk Radio Network, RedStateTalkRadio.com. You won't be trusted anymore. All right, welcome to the broadcast today, and I'm doing something different. I've been talking about this for quite some time. We've been basically trying to upgrade this broadcast into a video, an actual podcast. So I'm recording this live, and I don't know how it's going to go. I don't have producers here to queue up, cut number 7, et cetera, et cetera. I've got a bunch of stuff I want to get to. But right off the bat, I got to tell you, I'm not happy right now. I'm not happy with the fact that I've had to relearn so much stuff. Things that I believed for many, many years, I've had to basically knock that house of beliefs down, all the way down to the foundation, and then finding out that the foundation is cracked and falling apart. So, I'll tell you, it's rather unnerving. And a lot of people are going through this. I've seen a lot of posts on social media of people actually in tears, understanding and coming to the sad realization that everything that they've ever been told has been a lie. Everything is upside down. Everything. And it's no fun when you find out that things that you held so near and dear to your heart turned out to be falsehoods. And I even wrote a song about that many years ago, but that's another story altogether. But I can't help but think, I'm looking at all the stuff that's coming out, and especially yesterday, when Anthony Fauci was testifying, if you can call it that, he pled the Fifth Amendment 111 times. Yeah, there's nothing to hide, right? And there are people out there that are just screaming from the rooftops, when are we going to see accountability? When are we going to see the red jumpsuits and the ankle bracelets and the handcuffs? When do these people get arrested? And it's not just Anthony Fauci. In regard to the entire plandemic, and yes, I can actually say that now. There were certain words that you couldn't say because you'd be blocked and censored and deplatformed, et cetera, et cetera. And now people are actually able to say it because these platforms, they have to face the reality that 5-6 years ago, all of us crazy conspiracy theorists, they were not theories. They were really conspiracies. And now we know it's true. And how many millions of lives have been affected because of what Anthony Fauci and all of the other people who were connected to this entire plandemic? How many lives were affected? Destroyed, in fact. Businesses went out, went gone. Box stores, they were allowed to be, to stay open because they were essentials. But, the masking, the whole thing, it was beyond my comprehension to see that how many people had complied. How many people just went along with it because, they told you so. Trust the science. And so many people just refused to think outside of the cage that was set up for them by the mainstream media. The mainstream media. You guys in the mainstream media, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of the talking heads, you're all guilty. Every doggone one of you. And it's not just the people who are associated with the hokey pokey thingy dingy. Oh, can I say vaccine now? Can I say vaccination? Can I? May I? Mother, may I? Yeah, I mean, Albert Bourla from Pfizer. Yeah, okay. Mark Zuckerberg, by he took all this money to, and that leads into the election fraud that was going on. That's all coming out. When do we see the arrests? When do we see these people perp walked? Well, I have a theory about that. Yes, it's a theory. I can't prove it, but it's a theory, okay? I think timing is everything, all right? Remember in the 2020 election, the release of the Hunter Biden laptop, and it was just, a week or two before the election, And, of course, the media said it was Russian disinformation, Russia. And so the media wouldn't report it. And what happened? Well, Biden, quote unquote, got elected, right? And that's a whole nother issue altogether. So, but the Hunter Biden issue was swept under the rug, and now we know it's all true, you know? So the point is, timing is everything. So I'm thinking that a lot of these arrests, I'm praying, a lot of these arrests will come shortly before the election, maybe sometime in October. So we have to put up with the BS and the subterfuge and the gaslighting and the propaganda from now until we get into the real election season. So I don't know. That's my theory. Maybe, hopefully, we'll start to see some fecal matter hit the air circulator, okay? But right off the bat, before I get into a bunch of other stuff, I want to revisit something I talked about last week, and that is the forest fires. Now, we know that there are fires all over the country, up in Canada, on the West Coast, in Oregon and Washington, here in Montana, and the smoke is everywhere. And I couldn't help but think there was a guy that posted a very interesting video. His name is Brett Houston, or Houston, depending upon how you want to pronounce it. But I think you might want to see this, because we're going to revisit the fires that happened, remember, in Paradise, California, and then there was Maui, okay, and all these other crazy forest fires that have been going on. And right now, there are fires all over Oregon and all over Washington state. And, think of the wildlife that's being just burned alive. Think about all the thousands and thousands and thousands of acres that are being cleared. Let's take a look at this.
I just wanted to make a quick clip to document something that's rather important. Wondering if you have noticed any anomalies in the wildfire scenes. You know, all those fires that are sweeping the nation and other nations as well. Well, there's this dude named Robert Brame. He's a forensic arborist. He's spent his whole life with trees. He started to notice some things that really didn't make any sense, like when he saw entire neighborhoods wiped out. And yet the trees all around them, surrounding them, were unaffected.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there, because I remember that photograph being posted right after those fires. And there were so many people that came back and said, oh, come on, that couldn't possibly be. That's a conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, here it is. Here's the evidence. Oh, don't believe your lying eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, don't believe your lying eyes. We're going to hear more of that. Look at that one.
This shot from Paradise. You notice every one of these homes is reduced to white ash, and yet the trees surrounding them survived. That defies reality, the natural principles of reality.
You look at that.
Here's another one. Completely surrounded by trees, but every home completely eradicated.
Everything gone. White ash.
Here's another example.
Yeah, look at this one.
I could go on for years with all the examples out there.
Take this in, folks.
You're going to get what I'm talking about. This here is an exceptional example. None of the trees around it.
Yeah, for those of you listening on the Red State Talk Radio Network, and again, this is being made into a video. It will be posted at our website, TheWTFReports.com. If you haven't seen some of the video documentaries, well, if you want to call them broadcasts, if you will. Okay, but please visit our website, TheWTFReports.com. You can check on the archives, and we got several videos there. Again, I'm kind of new at this, but I'm doing the best I can. But anyway, you folks listening on Red State Talk Radio or on the audio archive, what we're seeing here in these videos is just astonishing. Right now, we're looking at a single house is totally and completely surrounded by trees. Surrounded. How did this house burn down to absolutely nothing? Nothing there but white ash. Amazing.
We're burning with the exception of what was caused by this fire. Now, this is where it really starts to get interesting.
Okay, I'm going to pause this for those of you who are not seeing what we're looking at here. Side of a highway, you've seen the guardrails on either side to keep you from going off the road. They got these wooden posts that are coming up, and then they have a metal, a piece of metal that goes down. So if you slide off the road, you hit the metal and go back onto the road, right? But all of the wooden posts are on fire, but there's no fire around them.
Notice the burn patterns here. Notice where the fire is coming from. It's not on the ground. It's not coming from a fire. It's everywhere that metal touches wood. All right? These are some of Robert's images that he's shared from all of the investigation that he's done. You see this?
Now, this is interesting. Check this out.
Notice the patterns here. It's burning where there are metal bolts going through the wood. It's not burning the wood. It's not burning the wood unless there is metal in the wood. And look at this here.
Mm-hmm. Wooden posts with the bolts going through. The wood is not burning, but the bolts are.
This appears to be a metal cable. And the fire, to me, looks like plasma. It's going above and below the cable.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. You ever seen fire go down? I'm looking at this video here, this photo of a cable. Yeah, he was explaining, and the fire is like it's going up and down. How is that happening?
Everywhere you see a metal bolt going through the wood, you see it's being energized and set on fire. That defies the natural principles. This is a trestle bridge. Here's a fence post. The only place it burnt is where there are nails.
For those
the only place this burned is where the bolts touched the wood.
For those of you, again, listening, you might want to check into our website, TheWTFReports.com, in a day or so. This will be posted with all the video that you can see what this guy is pointing out. This is so important because we're seeing these fires, like I said, all over the Northwest. People's homes are being burned down. Enormous tracts of forest are being taken out. And of course, it just happens to be coinciding with the plans for either some business to go in there and build a data center, or maybe they want to corral everybody into the 15-minute cities. Oh, is it a conspiracy theory, Dave? Yeah, right. We're batting 1,000 as far as these conspiracies are. They're not theories anymore, folks. Again, don't believe your lying eyes. Media's telling you the truth, aren't they?
This.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to see a pattern here. All right. Again and again and again. Robert was finding these anomalies and realizing this is not natural. This is not right. This defies everything. Wildfires do not do this. So he began sounding the alarm.
Mm-hmm. And
this is a list of the 10 anomalies that Robert has noticed and documented that you should probably make a copy of and see if you can find yourself.
Yeah, for those of you, again, watching, you might pause and read those.
There are certainly some exceptional examples out there in reality.
Yeah, we're looking at the automobiles. You know, we saw the pictures of all these cars that they melted.
Notice how this bridge is on fire everywhere at the same time.
Yeah, here's a bridge. I'm going to pause it here for those of you watching. I'm pausing this. For you, those of you listening, I'll describe what we're seeing. There's a bridge, a trestle, that goes across a river. Now, the river obviously isn't going to burn the bridge. All right? The bridge goes across the river, and the bridge itself is completely on fire from end to end. It's not like it started on one side and worked its way across. The entire thing is burning at the same time. This defies reality and common sense.
I had seen this image of the Woolsey fire in Malibu, of a bridge that was on fire and smoldering. The metal beams were bent.
Again,
Yet
the video.
trees surrounding the bridge.
The video's amazing.
Miraculously survived.
Again, we're looking at a bridge.
I went to
on either side of the bridge. The trees are still there. How did this bridge catch on fire and all of the metal is warped and melted? This is not normal.
To investigate this bridge myself, I filmed quite a bit of footage and noticed some very unique anomalies. This bridge was constructed with metal beams, wooden planks, covered in asphalt. And you can see where the nails were going through the wood between the beams.
Amazing.
And you probably realize that a wood fire typically doesn't heat up steel beams to the point where they melt and warp.
This is staggering. I mean, when you stop and think about it, you think about how this bridge was constructed. They have the metal beams that go across. Then they had the wood that was nailed in, and we're looking at the pictures of that. And then on top of the wood is the asphalt. So the question is, how did the wood catch on fire? If it's between the asphalt and the steel beams, how did the wood how did the wood catch on fire? Unless the metal was heated to a point where it just set all of the wood on fire and melted everything. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, now we're looking at the sides. Yeah,
most of the trees are still unburnt.
Yep. All right. There you go. That's the end of that one. Okay, so this is common sense, folks. And again, if you want to see this footage, go to our website, TheWTFReports.com in a day or so, and you'll be able to see this. And when you see it, your mind's going to get blown just like mine was. Now, I was just, suspicious about these fires. I had a friend who had a house in the Paradise, California, and she lost everything, including her 2 dogs. She was heartbroken. She was devastated. And I can't tell you, just use your imagination how many thousands of people's lives have been destroyed by these spontaneous forest fires. And you can go online and you can update yourself on how many fires are going on in Oregon and Washington State and ask yourself, wait a second, how are these fires starting? Are they crazy left-wing arsonists out there? Yeah, there's maybe a few of those. But then you look at the strategic locations of some of these things happening and put that together with some of the corporate interests. You start to understand, well, wait a second. If they want that land, they've got to figure out some sort of a way to get the people off of it. But then again, and the government would never do that, would they? Would they? Would they? Well, take a look at this, okay? Here is a document from June of 1970, Forest Fire as a Military Weapon, from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Forest Service. Now, I happened to download this. I saw this a couple weeks ago, and I pulled it off of a website that had the PDF, and I went back to that website, and it says, our website is under construction. You couldn't find it. So luckily, I had downloaded it, so that's why I still have it. But this is sponsored by the Advanced Research Project Agency, the Remote Area Conflict, ARPA, order number 818. And hopefully you can still find it. It's a rather large document here. I can scroll through this, and it has all of the different pages. It's 181 pages. But it basically explains how, different types of fire, creeping ground fire, running surface fire, forest crown fires, firestorms, different types of vegetation, grass, shrub, conifer, pine, hardwood forest. Okay, I mean, take all of these different factors and put them all together and figure out how to use fire as a weapon. And again, I'm not making this stuff. I'm here with the receipts, folks. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there because there are evil, evil forces out there that are doing evil, evil things that are beyond most people's comprehension. Oh, they would never do that. Oh, come on. Well, they are doing it. Anyway. All right, I'm going to change gears a little bit. I want to take a look at what's happened now recently. Of course, the Tyler Robinson / Charlie Kirk assassination is in the news. And Candace Owens, oh, bless her heart, she's heading the investigation. You're not getting an investigation from Kash Patel. You're not getting it from, the Department of Justice or the state of Utah. They're doing everything they can to cover it up. Then they're lying, and they've been caught in their lies. And I got some of the information here. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this. This was released by Candace Owens. They finally released some more of the footage of that individual running across the fire. Excuse me, not the fire, the roof. But here's Candace Owens' post about the individual. Now, if you're looking at this, you can see this guy crawling across. He got onto the roof, and notice he's not changing his clothes.
I actually do want to show you side by side, so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
That's a military
that
crawl.
General action right there is known as a lateral crawl.
Lateral crawl, okay.
There, and we're running that back and forth there.
Okay, I'm going to pause it here because what we're seeing here, for those of you listening and not watching, what we're seeing here is the individual, he's on the roof, he's approaching the edge where supposedly the sniper was. You can see him doing this crawl, and he gets into position. I don't see him taking his clothes off. I don't see him making a change of wardrobe like we were told, and I'll get to that in a couple of seconds. But we're watching the video here, and the guy crawls up, and he's doing that crawl, and now he's getting into position.
There we go.
Yeah.
Something forward.
Bless your heart, Candace.
Again, something forward.
Now he's in his prone position.
But more importantly, look. There you go.
Then
that's that unfolding again.
He's getting into position there. And then let's see what happens. Now, this is the video that they just showed to all the people that have been privy.
By the way, if you are listening to this in audio, this is one of these episodes that you actually do have to go watch. So you will have to pivot over to YouTube, to Spotify, somewhere that provides the video, because this is not something that we could just produce on an audio podcast here, unfortunately. But this is going to run. We did have to obviously zoom in and push out those fed timestamps, but
okay. So now the guy's lying down. Looks like he's
10 more seconds. Here.
Oh, now he gets up.
Okay, he is up,
and he's off, and he's running away. Now I gotta tell you, this video is pretty grainy. Okay, but it does show the individual, crawling across the roof, getting down into his prone position. Whether or not there was a shot fired or not, that you can't really see. And then he gets up and runs away. Now, the point is that we were told that Tyler Robinson got up there and he changed his clothes. And as a matter of fact, yeah, here's Governor Cox. Let me see. Governor Cox, here's Governor Cox, and you'll see Kash Patel standing right behind him. And here he is.
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on.
Yeah.
And then he changes clothing on the roof.
Well, really?
And then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU.
Mm-hmm. So why are they lying? Why are they lying? The video just proved that Governor Cox was lying. Okay? And then yesterday, after people like Jack Posobiec and Benny, what's his name? There are several of the social media podcasters that were there, and they were outside afterwards, and they were saying it's like 4G. You can see clear as day, crystal clear. You could see Tyler Robinson's face. We just saw the video. You couldn't even make out who it was. You couldn't make out if it was male or female. Why are they lying? And why, if they've got this crystal clear video, why aren't they showing it? Why don't they release it and stop all these crazy conspiracy theorists? Let's shut down Candace Owens' investigation right now by proving her wrong. Here it is. Show the world. But they won't show the world. They're just going to tell you what they saw. And the more that they, every time they lie, it's another shovel full of dirt that they're digging their own hole with. I don't understand. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. I'm going to. I have a video here. Now, some people are saying that of course it couldn't have possibly have been a 30-06. It couldn't have been a sniper that took out Charlie. Some folks are saying it's an exploding microphone. Well, and when I first heard that, I wasn't sure what to think. But I've gone back and I've captured this video, and I know it's grainy, but when you take a look at this, you're going to notice that his shirt jumps. We've all seen it. I know it's grisly footage, but if we're going to solve this issue, we have to be able to take a look and use our brains, use discernment. What makes sense? Now, we know that, we've heard about Israel a couple of years ago that they dispersed exploding pagers. Yeah, we heard about that. So they actually put shape charges inside of pagers, disperse them, and then when they push a button, they go off. Now, they couldn't possibly, nobody could possibly put a shape charge in a little microphone, could they? Could they? Could they? Would they? And who would have access to that type of technology? Let's start thinking outside of the cage, folks. All right, now I'm going to play this video, and it's. Let me see if I can pause this occasionally. Now, what we're going to see is you see that the shirt jumps up, and when the shirt comes down, you'll start to see a little hole that gets bigger and bigger. Bang! Right there. The shirt is up first, and then you see the wound. The shirt jumps, and then it comes down, and then you see the wound. And you actually see the wound get bigger. It starts as a little hole, and it becomes a big hole. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find this. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Let me just take a quick look at this. All right, I'm showing there were 4 different frames here. And you can see when the shirt comes down, okay, frame 1, you see his neck, and you don't see the hole. Now, again, this is after the shirt jumps up and it comes down. And frame 1, no hole. Frame 2, little hole. Frame 3, bigger hole. Frame 4, big hole. How can anybody look at this information? How can anybody look at this video evidence and go along with the intellectual fecal matter that they're throwing at you from the mainstream media? And that's exactly what it is. It's intellectual fecal matter. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And the people have been using Get More Tank. Occasionally they call in, and here's a recent, not so recent, but here's a caller that called me in after starting to use Get More Tank.
All right, let's go to Chicago. Say hi to Jerry. Jerry, thank you for holding. You're on the air. What do you got?
Hey, this is what I got for you. I started using that GetMoreTank.com back around May in 2 different vehicles. And I'll tell you what, my fuel economy went up in one of them, Toyota RAV4 2019, and went up about 4.6 miles per gallon. I keep track of it.
Wow, good for you.
And 2019 Ford Transit with a 5-cylinder inline diesel engine, I went from 15.8 average to 17.2. And I'm also putting it in my chainsaw. I haven't noticed the difference with the chainsaw. I can't figure fuel economy on that. But, hey, that's all I wanted to say to you. Have a good show.
Hey, Jerry, thank you so much for the endorsement. It's a good product. It really is. And not only that, I'm sure that everything's running better as well. I noticed that in my my Toyota Highlander. When I hit the gas, I almost feel G-forces, So, hey, thank you much for that endorsement, Jerry. I appreciate that.
All right, and you can get more tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. I'll hold up my coffee cup right here. TheWTFReports.com. Don't forget you got to have that in there. And when you get there, you hit the sponsors page. It'll take you down to an area where you can click on Get More Tank and read all the specifications and details on how and why this fuel catalyst works. It's not a fuel additive. It's a catalyst. It makes your fuel burn more efficiently, and it makes it cleaner. So number one, your engine is running cleaner. That's good for the environment. Number two, right off the bat, when you start using Get More Tank, you will notice that when you hit your accelerator, you actually take off. I mean, you've got more power. So that's number two. And number three is the biggie. After you've run a few tanks, your engine will adjust to the new efficiency and you start getting better mileage. And depending upon your make, model, and year of vehicle, and of course, your driving habits, you will see anywhere between 15 and 20% improvement of your gas mileage. And if you think about that, with the promo code, it costs you $20, you get 5 tablets. All right, if you're using 1 tablet per tank, that means if you're getting 20% better mileage, the 5th tank is free. This is a no-brainer, folks. This is a very good product, and I can understand why you don't hear too much about it because the oil companies probably don't like it. No. So go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and get more tank. Okay, let's see. It's about 37 minutes past the hour. Once again, this is broadcast live on the Red State Talk Radio Network. So you can go to RedStateTalkRadio.com and enjoy all the different talk show programs that are available there. And this program is, of course, broadcast live from 12:05. Oh, I like that. It rhymes. 12:05 to 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Well, that's 2:05 p.m. Eastern or 11:05 Pacific. So if you're listening during those times, you're listening live. And I don't have the phone lines open today, but I do take phone calls on a regular basis. So anyway, that said, all right, going to change gears a little bit. Of course, the war in Iran is not a good thing. And we don't know what to believe from our mainstream media because they lie. Yeah, they lie. They just can't tell you the truth. And I can understand that. Because if this is a war, they don't want to tell you what's really going on over there, do you? Especially if it's not going well. And but anyway, the point is that we've been lied to about a lot of stuff and what's going on over there. And of course, we were lied to the intel that we got. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? I think we all know the answer to that. We've been hearing about that for the past 30 years. Going all the way back to 1995 when Bibi Netanyahu said, Iran is only a month away from getting a bomb. He's got the nuclear bomb. He's been saying that, ad nauseum for the past 30 years. I mean, this has been his wet dream for decades. Well, he finally got Trump to do the dirty work and start this thing off. And the school in Manib that was blown up with 163 children, I think it was. I mean, they knew that it was a school. I'm not going to play it now, but the audio testimony from, what's her name? Oh, gosh. I can't remember her name, but she was an intelligence officer, and she was explaining that these Tomahawk missiles are equipped with very good high-definition video, plus it's backed up with satellite. They knew that this was a school. Anyway, that's another issue. But the point is that Bibi is known to be a liar, okay? He's talking about how, we've heard that the IDF is the most moral army in the world, and that they've got to hold them up on a pedestal. Here's Bibi Netanyahu talking about morality.
Get somebody to blow up a bus full of children or a building full of innocent civilians. You have to grind it into their minds. You have to wash their brains and tell them there is a higher cause out there.
Brainwash.
It's religious, ethnic, racial, whatever. And for that higher cause, you can disregard all the normal rules of morality.
Disregard all the moral rules, the rules of morality. By the way, that was from Oliver Stone's film in 2003. So he came flat out and says you have to wash their brains and you get them to abandon any sense of morality whatsoever. Oh, but the IDF is the most moral country in the world. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's see. Let's see if we can catch Bibi in a couple of lies here. All right, here's Bibi.
We're descendants from the original Hebrews of the Holy Land.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Let's start that one again. I got to turn up the volume because we have some issues with that particular statement. Listen up.
We're descendants from the original Hebrews of the Holy Land.
Okay, we are descendants from the original Hebrews from the Holy Land. That's his quote. Really? Is that true? Let's do some fact-checking there, Bibi. Okay, from the Jerusalem Post. Here we're looking at it right here, the Jerusalem Post. This is an article that was written, let's see, it was going back, it was 2024, so it was a couple years ago. All right, headline. Mohammed Hadid says Israeli Jews have no genetic connection to ancient Hebrews. Wait, didn't Bibi just say that they did? He said that the Israeli Jews should show their ancestry for comparison to this. Well, why don't they have ancestry tests for the Israelis? Let's take a look at this article. Again, this is from May 18th of 2024. Real estate mogul Mohammed Hadid claimed on Instagram on Friday that Israeli Jews have no Levantine genetic ancestry, adding that they are being anti-Semitic to a true Semitic people, those of Palestinian origin. Wow. He shared an Instagram story entitled Identity Theft. And we've been talking about that for a long time. The Ashkenazis are not the real Jews, but they claim to be. Okay, let's see. The identity theft by an unnamed artist and published it as a social media post. Now, here's the important part right here. John Hopkins' genetic study shows 97.5% of Judaics living in Israel have absolutely no ancient Hebrew DNA, are therefore not Semites, and have no ancient bloodline ties to the land of Palestine at all, unquote. Whereas 80% of Palestinians carry ancient Hebrew DNA and thus are the real Semites. In other words, the Israelis, are the anti-Semites. I told you, everything is bass-ackwards, upside down, and they've been lying through their teeth. Oh, is this the only article? And you can go to this, do your research. This is the Jerusalem Post. Again, this is written by, let me see, who is this? By Michael Starr. Michael Starr, May 18th, 2024, from the Jerusalem Post. Look it up, folks. Well, guess what? There's more. Okay? NBC News. Headline. Most Ashkenazi Jews are genetically Europeans. A surprising study finds. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah. This article goes back to 2013. We're talking 13 years ago. An article by Tia Gose, G-H-O-S-E. Look it up, folks. And you can follow along with the bouncing ball here. The origin of the Ashkenazi Jews, who come most recently from Europe, has largely been shrouded in mystery. But a new study suggests that at least their maternal lineage may derive largely from Europe. Though the finding may seem intuitive, it contradicts the notion that European Jews mostly descend from people who left Israel and the Middle East around 2,000 years ago. Instead, a substantial proportion of the population originates from local Europeans who converted to Judaism, said study co-author Martin Richards, an archaeogeneticist at the University of Huddersfield in England. The tangled legacy? Little is known about the history of Ashkenazi Jews before they were expelled from the Mediterranean and settled in what is now Poland around the 12th century. On average, and by the way, I'm going to pause there. Did you know that Bibi Netanyahu's real name is Miłkowski? He is of Polish descent. Isn't that interesting? On average, all Ashkenazi Jews are genetically as closely related to each other as fourth or fifth cousins, said Dr. Harry Osterer, a pathology, pediatrics, and genetics professor at Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York and the author of Legacy, A Genetic History of the Jewish People. And that's from the Oxford Press in 2012. Now, you can go further and read this article. All you got to do is search it out. NBC News, most Ashkenazi Jews are genetically Europeans, a surprising study finds. So once again, we go back to
We're
this.
descendants from the original Hebrews of the Holy Land.
That's... Okay, let's see what other lies we can get him into here.
And we are the first part of that Judeo-Christian heritage which we cherish and which has given the world the civilization of freedom and faith.
More lies.
And again, we have to stand up and defend it. It's under attack from the rising tide of anti-Semitism and anti-evangelicalism.
Oh,
And
see, he's trying to blanket in, say, oh, look at if they hate Jews, if they're anti-Semites and hate the Jews, and we already determined that the anti-Semites are actually the Israelis because the Palestinians are the Semites. And I told you, everything is upside down. I don't like learning this stuff. I don't like the fact that I have to take everything that I've been told and defended for many years and realize that, guess what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I have to shun my ego and turn away from my pride and I'll have to admit that I'm not perfect. I made a mistake. A lot of people can't deal with that. Let's hear what else this piece of work has to say.
Incidental that the two are coming under joint attack because we are one. And what I ask you is only one thing. Stand up. Stand up. Be calm. Don't cower.
Don't cower.
And, when you're faced with an attack, what do? Attack back.
Oh.
That's all. That's my long speech. And, I'm very grateful to you for your consistent support, for the constancy of your friendship. And now it's time to fight. That's it.
Brilliant.
You are fighting right now. We are fighting right now against the dark side, the leftist, godless dark side. But by the grace of God, we're going to win this battle.
Okay. Did you hear that? They feel that they're fighting against the dark side. Again, everything is bass-ackwards, folks. Who do you think is really the dark side? Think about it, folks. And meanwhile, they're trying to convince you that they're your best friend, your most important ally. Yes, we're going to marry this person because they are our best friend. And that's why everybody across this country, not everybody, but many people are absolutely aghast at the passage of the NDAA by Congress, including Section 219, which basically, and I will use that word, merge. There's some people, Patriot Dad out there says, you're an idiot if you think that it's merging. No, it's a merge. It's a merge. There's no doubt about it. So, and is this what you really want? Are we going to merge with the most moral army in the world? By the way, they're still using white phosphorus over there. Yeah, they are. And it's not just in Gaza, in southern Lebanon. They're using white phosphorus. Yeah. That's the most moral army in the world. All right. Let me see. There was something else I wanted. Let me see. What time I got left? I got a few more minutes left. Oh, yes. I've mentioned this before. I will continue to mention it. There's a well, I don't even want to call it a documentary. It's a compilation of video clips. It was put together by Harrison Smith, who works with InfoWars. And, that's Alex Jones Network. And although I may not be in complete alignment with Alex Jones, I mean, I do have a history with him going all the way back to the 90s. But I got to hand it to Harrison Smith for putting this together. Let me see if I can pull this up. Where did I have it? There it is. Okay. I'm going to start this right from the beginning. Now, this is it's 14 minutes and 40 seconds, as I recall. And again, this is a compilation of video clips, interviews. There's no editorializing, no commentary, none. Zip, zero, nada. These are all clips put together for you people to put the puzzle pieces together and figure out whether or not this is our most loyal ally, our most precious ally, or maybe it's our most dangerous adversary. Now remember, the motto of the idea of the Israeli Mossad, and I have to assume the IDF, and I quote, "By means of deception thou shalt do war." By means of deception, in other words, lying, thou shalt do war, where you kill people. Now that motto alone challenges or demands that their military break not one, but two of God's commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not lie. And thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not kill. So you tell me, is this the most moral army in the world? Anyway, I digress. I want to share with you, let's see, I'm going to pop this open. Let me go to the browser. All right, check this out, folks. I'm going to pause it, too, so you can let this settle in. Listen.
I think there's another revolution coming.
Yeah.
I tend to steer it along with the achievement of a broader peace. When history is within reach. So what Israel is fighting here is not merely a seven-front war, but an eighth-front war.
Yeah, an eighth-front war. Now, he talked about that. Remember, what was it last year when he was bringing all the social media influencers over to Israel? And he was telling them that, yeah, we got to work this out on social media, TikTok. Remember that? TikTok. All right? Now, listen carefully. He's talking about the eighth front. In other words, they are going to pump up the propaganda, the subterfuge, the gaslighting, and the lying, because that's the motto. That's their motto. Now, the question was asked, what are you reading now? Listen, and I'm going to pause this so you can let this settle in.
It's called The Jews Against Rome.
The Jews Against Rome. That's what he's reading. The Jews Against Rome. Now, I'm going to pause for a second, and you can go online and you can do your own research. And time after time again, there are many different rabbis that explain that Edom must be destroyed. What is Edom? Edom is Rome. What is Rome? Rome is the West. In other words, Europe and North America, the United States. So in their eyes, we are Rome, and they are against us, the Jews against Rome. We are the target of their offense. Here's some more.
Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values, with a great tragedy for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Well, we lost that one. We have to win the next one.
We lost that one, but we have to win the next one.
But the new Rome, the United States.
The new Rome is the United States. Now, I'm not making this stuff. You can come after me and say, oh, Dave, you must be an anti-Semite. You hate Jews. If you think that, you're stupid. All right, let's continue. Just a little bit more here. Hit the pause. There we go.
Jews Against Rome.
We stopped playing defense and have moved to offense.
Right, you are.
Change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well.
But we need the kind of genius that manufactured Apollo gold pagers and infiltrated Hezbollah for over...
Okay, the gold pagers. I was talking about that just a couple minutes ago. He says we need the genius that developed those pagers. Maybe they utilized that genius and manufactured Microphones. Yeah.
Decade to prepare for this battle.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media.
Because the next war will be decided based on how Israel and its allies perform online as much as offline.
This is the 8th front, the disinformation campaign.
It is actually
the disinformation campaign.
Our enemies believe they can actually defeat the Jewish state.
This is the kind of ingenuity and inventiveness that have always been a hallmark of the state of Israel, that have always been a characteristic of the Jewish people.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. You're listening to Jonathan Greenblatt. He's the CEO and National Director of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. I call them the Anti-Defecation League because they're full of crap. And let me remind you that they're facing lawsuits right now because they have been funding all these so-called anti-Jewish groups to generate hatred towards anybody who they perceive as anti-Jewish. Of course, anti-Semite. 6 million. Holocaust, October 7th, Holocaust, 6 million. God's chosen people. 6 million. Folks, they're imposters. They are not the original Israelites or the Hebrews. They are imposters, and I'm showing it to you. Do your own research. I didn't want to learn this. I have friends who are Jews, but they don't have anything to do with this. It's sort of like a lot of Christians out there, how well do the Christians abide by the Bible? How many Christians actually go to church every Sunday? How many of them are really devout Christians? Well, there's a good portion of them that are. But there are a lot of folks out there that call themselves Christians that don't really practice. The same thing can be said about a lot of Jews. How many of them go to synagogue every Saturday? So, there's a lot of folks out there that are of the Jewish persuasion that don't subscribe to this crap that's going on. So you can't blame all the Jews. You can't. However, the ones that are in charge, the ones that are pulling this stuff, they're not the real Jews. And it's in the Bible. Jesus warned us, and it's in Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. If you're going to get theological about it, because Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee, they deliberately misquote Scripture to suit their purpose. Huckabee, I've got him on tape, not once, not twice, but 3 times misquoting, Genesis 12:3, I think it was? God said to Abraham, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. The word Israel didn't even come up until many chapters later when God had the conflict with Jacob and then renamed Jacob. He says, from now on you will be known as Israel. So the point is that as the motto says, by deception thou shalt make war. I'm going to check in the old clock on the wall. I got about a minute left before I run out of time. I'm going to let this run for just another couple of quotes, and then I got to get out of here. Okay, there we go.
I know we can do it.
A lot of this is done with money.
Invested billions and billions of dollars in the information battlefield.
Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster.
Yeah.
We prohibit harmful stereotypes about Jewish people, such as claims that Jews control financial, political, or media institutions.
Oh, really? Oh, they don't control the banks? No, they don't control the media. Liars, every single one. Oh, and here's one of the best ones. Mark Levin.
You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
We monitor them online, social media, messaging apps, video games, cryptocurrency.
Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to stop that. We're going to go back to... That's going to pretty much do it for us, folks. Oh! All right, I hope you've enjoyed this diatribe that I've been throwing at you. And if you are listening or watching or whatever, please remember to click like, share, subscribe, and spread the word of spread the news. Word of mouth is the best advertising. And speaking of advertising, if you appreciate this broadcast, support our advertisers. Wave Watch, Get More Tank, and also we have coffee mugs. We have baseball caps. We have hoodies and stuff like that. So go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. Do business with our advertisers and help us keep the lights on. That said, I'm going to wrap up the broadcast, so I thank you. If you're listening on BitChute, Rumble, Facebook, or whatever, like, share, and subscribe. So until next time, God bless you all. Stay safe and stay free.